Hello and welcome to our March intuitive reading video. I'm Angie Craft Valdal with Life Purpose Pathfinder, and I'm here with my good friend Wendy Lou Herman, and her business is Intuitive Oils Blend, and she does incredible energy work and intuitive readings with
Ditto.
oil blends. She's
Yes, I do.
awesome. So thank you for joining our video. We're so excited to do this in our first of our series of monthly collective intuitive readings.
There we go.
And I'm thrilled about this, and I'm thrilled that Wendy's excited to do this with me. So
Yes, we've been wanting to do this for a long time.
So we are doing our readings from the Akashic Records. We are in the Akashic Records currently for the collective, and so we're going to read from that space. I work with the Akashic Records and absolutely love doing trainings and assisting people in healing things in their Akashic Records. And Wendy likes working with me in the Akashic Records.
Angie taught me how to go in and be open to the information and all that jazz, and I love it there. I just want to live there. I just want to move in. I just want to put a pot in a corner somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Metatron just said I can stay overnight anytime I want. We'll have a sleepover.
Nice. So be sure to subscribe and like and share this video and hit the bell. Yay.
Hit that little bell so you know when we put more videos up, because we're going to be doing these. And maybe throwing in a non-energy reading in between them. Who knows?
Yes, we're gonna do the history of important events and places on the planet.
Oh, that's
so don't miss that, because what's really great about that I love about the Akashic Records, and I had Wendy experience it the other day when we were together in New Mexico, is to go into different sites throughout history. It's so much fun. So we went into the ancient city of Atlantis, and we got all the information about what really happened there, because there's a record in the Akashic Records of what happened to the ancient city of Atlantis. And so it's not what you would think, or maybe it is, but
and the cool part,
the story that we heard.
Right. And the cool part about it is, since we've done that, we're seeing information pop up that we didn't know before that confirms what we saw.
Exactly.
Like every day.
Yes.
And just in random places too. Like I'm not even looking for it.
Yeah. It's
been very cool.
It's been so much fun. Yeah. So that's our second series will be the history, and we don't even have a name for it. So we need to come up with a name for this series.
We'll come up with a jazzy name. We'll come up with something. Jazzy readings with Angie and Wendy.
So join us for that. And so just tuning in to this month.
I was just thinking I should probably mention that I'm sitting on a yoga ball, because people might try to figure out what I'm doing here. I'm just on a ball, y'all. I prefer a ball to a chair.
I like it.
So if you see me bouncing a little bit.
Bounce away. I'm just tuning into this month.
Let me think. March. Let's open the March book.
Okay, so the guides are just pointing out that there is a lot going on around us in our world right now.
Yeah, I get a lot of tumult. Is that a word?
Tumultuous. Yeah. Yes, tumult. I like it. So there's a lot of fear that people are attaching on to. So there's fear around money. There's fear around, the virus. There's fear around, we're in the US, we're going to be having our election. So there's all this fear that you can choose to buy into, is what I'm seeing, right? And this is always a choice. Like, we always have two choices, y'all: fear or love. And so which one
feels better?
Right. Which one do you want to pick on any given day? And if it was up to me, I would tell everyone that they should choose love, but it's a choice, right?
We both have our heart earrings on for a reason.
We do. Heart earrings, right?
Love.
We're listening to love.
Choose love.
So choose love, because fear just keeps us in a lower vibration, right? And that's not what we're going for anymore.
Right. And
We're
fear is
moving to
the,
higher and
fear
higher
is
vibrations.
so much. And fear is the foundation of anger and resentment and chaos and conflict. And, it's all built off of that fear. When you choose fear, that's kind of the path. So.
Right. And what I'm hearing is it takes people to feed the fear. The fear only exists if we feed it. Like if you imagine like a little gremlin, right? Like, I don't know how else to describe this. And you keep giving it your attention and you keep giving it little scraps of food, right? You're keeping this, if you think of if the fear is the gremlin, you're keeping it alive, right? So if you choose not to pay attention to the fear,
like, just follow the instructions and don't feed him after midnight. It's not that hard.
Don't feed them.
Don't get him wet.
Because then
Oh my
get
gosh,
the
2
car
rules.
and there's no
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a perfect analogy, actually. I love that analogy.
Right? So
because then it breeds more just pops out of it.
And it keeps the collective or individual people connected to these lower energies, these lower timelines, and it's time for us to let go of all that. So it's almost like, the way I see this is like, it's like the last ditch effort of the fear to have a big tantrum.
I like it.
And to get a whole bunch of attention, right?
He's
and
banging
what's
his
the
head on
best
the
thing to
kitchen
do
floor
with a kid that's having a big tantrum? Has everybody learned this? You're really, and I don't want to get into parenting or anything, everybody has their different views.
Hopefully
but there
we
is
all
a
learned it the hard
philosophy
way.
that you're supposed to ignore a child when they're having a huge giant tantrum. Now you can be nearby, right? Sitting close and
make sure they don't hurt themselves,
support, making sure they're safe, but not engaging in the behavior, right? So if the fear is having this huge, big, giant tantrum.
And it helps too when you're, which I wasn't with my first dream, it helps too when you are aware of energy and how you can disconnect. That cuts the tantrum in half. I'm telling you. It's amazing. It's amazing the effect that can have when you can energetically just go, no, I'm not going to be part of this.
Right. It does. And
so they stop. So yeah, it's cool. So yeah, no parent advice, but I think we all know that's the best course of action.
No, I'm not offering parenting advice. Do whatever's comfortable for you for parenting. I'm just saying, in this circumstance, the best thing to do is unplug yourself from the fear. Imagine it like a big giant cord. This is what I'm being shown, right? So just imagine that you have this cord and you have it, one portion of this cord is plugged into sort of the lower fear that's going on, right? Any of these lower energy, these stories that are going on throughout the planet. And just imagine, just look at that cord and just unplug it and just go.
And I'm no kidding, seeing a cord the size of like a tunnel that a person could climb into.
Oh my gosh.
We have to unplug it, and then you have to, and I did this actually the other day. I was trying to unplug some attachment that I had, and I had to seal the holes too. I unplugged it and it kept trying to go back in. So if you're having that problem, because fear is a big deal. It pulls us, right? It's like a magnet. And we're so used to it, right? We're in this country, especially lately, we're so used to it. Now with all the fear pouring out there, sometimes you have to, once you pull it out, just imagine the holes closing up.
Yep.
It can't go back in.
Yep, it's closing. So imagine,
no more
where you pulled that cord out, it's gone.
So even if the plug is trying to go back in, it's hitting solid wall.
Right, solid wall. And you remember, what we focus on expands. So what do you want to focus on, right? Where do you want your attention to flow?
And I know that's easy to say.
Anymore.
Sometimes it's hard to let it go. But this, I think people underestimate too, and we've talked about this before. Like you always say, it all starts with your imagination. People underestimate the power of visualization.
They do.
This really does. Like I was just teaching someone the other day. He said, "Well, I'm just imagining it. That doesn't do anything." I said, "Yes, it does. It's everything. That's going to do it. I promise you." So you just have to not be afraid to go into your imagination. And mine is it's very vivid now. The more you go there,
Yeah.
the more you see.
Right. That's
So
how
don't
we create.
underestimate it.
That's our magic.
Absolutely.
We can create with our mind. We can create whatever we desire. We can create fear and destruction, like what we're unplugging from, or we can create beautiful, a world, filled with love and light and community, whatever we choose, right? It's all up to us what we want to create.
It's no different. Exactly. It's no different than making a vision board. It's just all in your mind.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people like the vision board because it's a physical, tangible thing, but that's very cool. Angie and I have healed a crap ton of stuff using our imagination.
Yes, we have.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we have. So
Yes. I'm a firm believer in visualizations. So I do a lot of visualizations with people. And
so without,
real.
They are absolutely. It's all what
real.
Resonates with us, what makes sense to us. It's all part of that individual energy signature, depending on what comes to you. So everybody's going to see, if the giant plug doesn't work for you, go with whatever it shows you. If it's, like for me, I did that one exercise, Angie, we were in Albuquerque, where I was imagining I had a parachute on and I had landed, but it was still on and I couldn't get it off. And so I had to cut the ties to the parachute to free myself from that. So it's whatever comes to you. Do you remember that? That was cool.
Yeah, just trust your own visualizations, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
so,
in relation to this, this seemingly scary virus, I don't know. It's just, we have to unplug from the fear. That's the first step. And then you can see more clearly too. And then absolutely, take steps to keep yourself and your family as healthy as possible. I mean, we know these things. Wash your hands. We know all these things, to cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze and all that jazz. So, but when you're in fear, that's just attracting more fear.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep, whatever you're focusing on is what you're bringing into your reality closer and closer. So focus on what you really want.
And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say what I was being shown is if it would be really helpful if anyone that watched this video, if you could just imagine the virus wherever you see it on the planet, just visualize it and just ask to be shown wherever it is, and just imagine it's melting down into the earth. Somebody mentioned that commercial with those little green guys, someone that I told this to, those little green guys, and they said they imagined the little green guys going down into
like the
it's
germs.
like some cough medicine or something. Yeah. So they said just imagine however you see it. I just kind of see it as like an overall darkness, and it's just being pulled down, like a lower vibe energy, right? Being pulled down into the earth, and Gaia will transmute it. So maybe once a day, if you're feeling up for it. I've been doing it once a day, the visualization of just imagining anywhere on the planet.
Good for you.
It's being pulled down into the earth and taken care of. Because that's
so
what
whenever
I would
you
rather
feel
see.
Absolutely. And whenever you feel like maybe you're spiraling into that fear, that's a good time to, if you can be in enough awareness to do it then, that'll not only get you out of the spiral, but it literally does lend that healing energy to the earth and to this virus. And if it helps too, I immediately got, when we were tuning into this, because since we're doing this reading for March, this is not even, this fear is not even going to sustain through the whole month. I see it completely petering out by the end of March.
Yeah. So all the subsequent things that are happening to, the financial markets and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting, actually. A lot of people are excited about that.
Well, and I just see it as the tantrum, right? Like I see the whole thing as
it's all connected.
This big tantrum that, is the whatever, it's almost like whatever people's biggest fears are coming to the surface to be looked at and be seen for the illusion that they are, right? And it's like, okay, let's look at this again, realizing that all of this fear really ultimately is an illusion, right?
And we're creating it. We sustain it. We connect with everybody else in the fear, and we create this grid, and we don't have to be part of it. So
yeah. Amazing.
So if anybody's nervous about the stock market, I don't know. It's for me, it's definitely something that there's going to be a lot of shifting and transforming in that area of our planet, of our of our country, in the very near future. And I always, people are always telling me, I always hear, oh, 10 to 20 years. I really personally feel like it's going to be a lot sooner than that. I really feel like by 2022, we're going to have a whole new financial system. It's going to be so much more beneficial for everybody. So maybe, if you think of, what is it, Kali, who's the goddess that is, she's the goddess of destruction, but she's also the goddess of creation. So sometimes things need to be destroyed in order for something better to be created in its place.
Yeah, exactly. That's like that Pluto energy, that death and rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And are we still in that? We're still in that, aren't we?
Well,
I'm not an astrologer, but
the whole tantrum reminds me of Pluto energy. I mean, the
yeah.
whole thing, like all the things that are happening, right? That looks so strange and make you think, gosh, how could things actually be getting better? It looks like they're getting worse.
The world is falling
right?
apart.
Yeah. The sky is falling. Like, it wasn't that you that was saying that the other day.
Yes,
and it does look
good.
like that when things, we can bring this down to the micro level from the macro. Like, even in our own lives, when things are really shifting, gosh, they can look gnarly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know for me recently, gosh, the stuff we went through just in our family, I had my health challenge, and my daughter hurt her ankle, and my dad broke his ankle, and it's just been, it was like this whole,
like within days of each other. It was insanity.
It was. And it's just
and we're trying to plan a trip. I mean, it was like everything.
Wendy and I
it was
were
like
going
the
somewhere.
tantrum. It was like the tantrum to keep us from going. But
right.
we were, it helped. Well, for you anyway. I mean, I was having some things going on, but not like you were. It was bringing it up. Like we talked about this, I think, in Albuquerque. It was bringing it up so that you could release it before we went, because we needed to be clear on our trip, because we did some healing in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And there she is.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
there she is. Hello, Isis.
She's like, oh, hey.
She's our consultant. She'll be our professional consultant for these videos.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
So yeah, that's what I was getting. I don't know if you were getting anything else around that, but that was what
the
was
virus specifically.
Just the fear, for everybody to just do the unplug activity, just unplug from all of this fear.
I think that's a great activity, and it's sometimes one and done is not how it works. So like you said, do it every day. Do it whenever you feel maybe you're spiraling into that fear. And honestly, and this is my personal opinion, I don't judge, but please stop watching the news. Like and at least, cut down, because it is nothing but fear. And I get it. We want to keep up with current events. We want to know what's going on, but it's just fear. And then every once in a while they'll have a happy story. And you know why everybody loves the happy stories? It's because they're unusual. when it comes to the news. And so there's just not enough of them. Like I dream of a world where all the news is just happy. Oh, little boy saves dog. And, it's all happy stuff. But for right now, it's just a lot of fear. And there are ways to keep up with the current events without having to watch all of the fear-based stuff. And I'm not judging any network or anything. They all kind of have their issues. It's just, it's a lot of fear, and it's too much. It's too much for us to handle sometimes. So
don't feed the fear.
Every time I glance at my notes, Metatron
what can you
like,
do, right? Then it comes down to, I'm just reminding you to recap, not you, Wendy, but whoever's watching, to recap, what can you do? You're going to not feed the fear if you choose not to, and you can send love and healing and do that activity where you pull the virus down into the earth to be transmuted. Yep. So that's the nice thing. I guess the one nice thing about being updated on the news is you can see, okay, what can I do though? Right?
Where can I send my energy?
Right.
The love.
Where can I assist in a positive way? Right. So that's
absolutely
the good thing about it.
That's good. That's a really good perspective of it. And I think I might start doing that myself, because, I still have a lot of people in my, even if you don't watch news, if you get on Facebook, you're going to get it, because there are people who share all of it. And so I can just send my loving, healing energy to all of that.
I have a visitor too.
Do you? Is it Willie?
Hi,
Willie. Hi, Pumpkin.
He's visiting. Oh, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Willie, this is Isis. Isis Willie.
He wants to give me a hug right now.
Oh, my cat Wolfgang was so like that.
Sweet.
Oh, Willie.
He loves to hug people.
I never got a hug. I should have gotten a hug.
I know. Why didn't you hug Wendy when she was here?
Oh, next time, Willie. I'm expecting it.
Yeah. Aw.
He is precious. My cats don't do that.
He's so the other one doesn't, but he does.
I had a cat named Wolfgang for almost 20 years who was such a hugger.
Oh. He's totally purring. Can you hear it? Probably not.
No. But I believe you. I believe you.
He loves it that we're doing this video. He's so funny. He loves the energy. He loves to feel the guides. Whenever the guides come around, oh my gosh, he loves it. Or the angels. He's all about it.
Aww, he's so pretty.
He's so funny. Okay, so
what else you got?
The guides have, you know, shown us everything that they wanted us to share about that.
Yeah, so, like the first couple of weeks, there is going to be a lot of fear swirling around, and if we can just, I think that visualization is really important. It's really key. And like I said, do what works for you. If you're not picturing what we specifically talked about, then picture your own disconnecting visualization. But it all starts with your imagination. That needs to be our motto.
Yeah.
You say that all the time.
And
it's really true. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's key in visualizing. So key.
And visualizing does heal.
And learning to use your intuition, it's key to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I see some crazy things right.
Well, and when you're visualizing what you want, right, you're really memorizing the frequency of that timeline, right?
And you're feeling
it. You're spending time. So with any of the things that you see on the news that you particularly don't like or upset you, then visualize the timeline that you want to see, right? Visualize what it is that you are truly desiring. Instead.
Visualize with me this energy of this virus completely being gone by March, and it will be.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm trying to see if there's anything.
And it was interesting because when you said that, even beyond that, I saw it is like something about it unites the countries. Like, as you said it was like there was like a unity between nations when you said
the unplugging. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it just
nice.
Like, as the virus, like something about it, like, going through its process and then being cleansed. There's a unity between the countries for some reason because of it. As a result, I don't know why I saw that, but
well, you and I talk about this a lot, that is always a high vibe purpose for these low vibe things, right?
Yeah, for everything.
A lot of times it's pushing, it's taking some other low vibe thing with it, and it's pushing it through for us to get to a higher place. And it's really important and if you can feel that from the beginning, unplug from the fear, feel that it's,
are you leaving?
That it's probably big picture, it's probably a positive thing, then you won't spiral into the fear.
Yeah.
And it is really freeing to not be in the fear.
Yeah.
It is so freeing and
so freeing.
Really good.
Well, because everything happens for our highest good, right? So
absolutely, we're on that path.
This is a hard concept. I know, and I'm not saying that this is an easy concept for anyone by any means.
Right, and us just saying it doesn't make it true.
And we say, how could that be for the highest good of all? But the truth is everything happens for our highest good, whether we can see what that is or not. That's why, I don't know about you, Wendy, but that's one of the things I love about the Akashic Records is it when you're in the Akashic Records, there's that removal of any sort of judgment around any situation, circumstance, whatever, right? So you can really look at it through the lens of everything's happening for our highest good. And how is that so? Right? You can see it through that lens, interestingly, even if you can't always see it in your just everyday existence, what that highest good is. You can be shown in the Akashic Records. It's like, well, this seemingly terrible, extremely difficult event. And I'm not downplaying these events. They really are
right.
a lot.
When there's lots of loss of life, and
Yes,
it's hard to see.
And you can see the Akashic records can show you how, the truth of that is that really is in the highest good of all, and why, right?
And a lot of times the outcome is, and a lot of times the outcome is really just a unity consciousness growing.
Yeah.
When there's a tragedy, we come together.
Yeah. It really is that way. Everything that happens is,
and it comes with that awareness, comes with inner work and growth too. It just comes with it. It just comes along with the territory. It's a beautiful byproduct, that awareness.
It is. Yeah. So. It is. It really is. Yeah. And again, all of these things, you can look at the macro level and the micro. I mean, you can look at the macro and the micro, right? So the macro of that being the huge giant events in the world, and the micro of that being, wow, look at the little teeny tiny things that are happening in my own life. Not that they're teeny tiny. And I know we have huge things happen in our life, or small things or whatever, but you can really take on that concept on both levels of, okay, how is this happening for my highest good?
Right.
Interesting. Like, and some days it doesn't feel as interesting as other days.
Interesting that it's that how I'm feeling is being mirrored in the collective, right? Or, you watch the news and it just kind of amplifies how you were already feeling. It's the same. That's because the energy comes in with a purpose and will bring up things for us to heal on both the micro and the macro. And as we heal the micro, voila, magically the macro heals.
Yeah. Oh. We're all connected. Yeah, we're all connected. So all the good healing work that you do, I do, anybody that's
all
watching,
all of our friends,
it all helps everyone. So keep it up.
Absolutely. Keep on keeping on. Don't dim your light. Don't let the fear dim your light, because that's what we need right now.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else coming through.
I'm trying to see. I know for some reason I went down that road. It was obviously important about
it always
in our highest good.
No, that's a huge awareness, and that a lot of people are coming to. But it definitely feels.
I'm being reminded again that all of these events that we're seeing are in relation to the breakthrough that's coming, right? The huge, massive macro
I
and
totally
micro.
Feel that.
Again, this is the theme of the reading, breakthrough, right? So
I feel that
on the
deeply.
macro level, all of the systems breaking down and the breakthrough that's going to come on the other side of that. And then on the micro level, all of the changes that we've made in our lives, right? All of the shifts that we've individually made, whether conscious or unconscious, guys, right? Not all of the things that that we've done on the individual level have been conscious, but we've made huge strides in the growth of our consciousness and our own expansion in the last 5-10 years, right? Massive strides. And
Absolutely. And it's just
all
speeding
of those
up.
Things, right? So all of those changes that we've made are creating massive breakthroughs.
Yep. And right now,
March,
at least,
and to come, even yet through the end of the year, I'm seeing like this is like
Absolutely.
The precipice.
2020. There's a reason it's 2020.
The precipice, is that the right word?
Yes.
of the breakthrough, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So that's where we're at. Is we're standing on the edge of this massive breakthrough, macro and micro level breakthrough.
Yeah.
So
and as if we can just trust, allow, keep working on ourselves. And honestly, that's even a lot for a lot of people. That inner work is really, sometimes it kicks into autopilot, right? Like it just does it. And we just rest and self-care and whatever. But I feel like if we can just trust, we're on the edge of that cliff. The breakthrough is not falling to our deaths. The breakthrough is realizing that we have wings.
Yep.
That we don't have to fall. We can choose. The falling is the fear, right?
Yeah. And I'm getting that with everything that's going on, and especially on the individual level, there's a lot of tendency to feel you could, like, our wounds are getting poked, if that makes sense, right? So you could feel triggered really easily, or really not unnecessarily, just uncharacteristically sensitive, right?
Kind of,
In certain
almost
moments.
irrational sometimes.
Right. And it could
Taking
feel
from
like
personal.
that. And
Yeah.
I'm just getting that it's just about being gentle with yourself and realizing, you know, you can take a step back, kind of come in as the observer and just kind of, if you're able to, I know sometimes we just take that exit on the freeway and we can't stop it. And we say all the things and then we go, oh my gosh, why? And I did that last week. And then I got home and everything was sorted like in my email and I didn't even know it at the time when I went in and like, was just like, oh gosh, you know, I'm kind of upset about this. And then I went back and everything was sorted in my email and I didn't even know it. Right. So it's just like this feeling of being a little bit extra sensitive and triggered. It's just those wounds. And, you know, you can dive in and you can ask your intuition, what is this about? And maybe release it a little bit faster and, or just allow the trigger to allow the whole thing to unravel. Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
we don't always have to know.
You don't always have to know
what it is. Yeah.
You don't.
No.
For me, I like to know on a bigger trigger that's been a consecutive, you know, pattern for me. I like to know and I like to handle it and sort of, you know, pull up that weed from the get-go. Once I have awareness around the pattern or the trigger, for me, I like to know, right? But you can really coast through too without knowing and just realizing, okay, I'm triggered right now. I'm triggered. I'm seeing that. Like I'm noticing that. And I'm going to just try to stay centered and observe. And then of course be gentle with yourself if you took that exit on the freeway.
One of the worst things we can do is beat ourselves up about what has happened. We just need to be gentle. And you know, if you've hurt somebody's feelings, make it right. If you've you know, if you blow up at somebody, make it right. It's an amazing feeling, apologizing for something and really, really meaning it. So I mean, it's that easy. And it's, you know, we were raised that you don't apologize. It's just such a crazy culture. We have come so far.
Yeah.
We've come so far in the last, and I feel like even the last 2 years has been just on fast forward. And it's just, and I just heard 6 months the last 6 months, they amped it up again. So it's just been insane. And self-care is so important. And I get it. People have to pay bills, but do what you can. You know, if you've got sick leave built up, take it. If you've got vacation time, take it. You know, I mean, if you need to, and don't beat yourself up about it. We need rest right now. We're integrating so much. And I know for me on a personal level too, and I feel like it's big in the energy, is we feel like we're birthing a new identity. Mm-hmm. And look at what's happening in the world. All these, it's like an egg cracking apart, and that shell is this old stuff falling away. And we're going to see it's going to be a new country and a new world very soon. You know, and we're birthing it by birthing our own individual identities, by remembering who we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all collective.
The whole left side of my face and everything started tingling.
I know I got really hot. I got a hot flash.
Yeah, we are birthing this, and our visualizations, our positive visualizations help in this process, right? Like
absolutely.
As
more
we're
than
visualizing,
people think.
We're saying this is the timeline we want to memorize, you know? Mm-hmm. We want to memorize the timeline of light and love and community and all the things that we're desiring, right?
Absolutely. And this month is just so important for that too.
Yeah, peace on earth, right? Abundance and all the things.
Right? We want everybody. We want everybody to experience that. Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah. My thing is I always want people to have careers that they love. I feel like there's such a thing around that in our world and in our culture that it's so necessary to choose careers based on other factors than the fact that you just love doing it, right? And we spend so much time at work. That's my crusade in the world.
Right. I know, right? That's your soapbox.
Be okay having a career that you love, no matter who is okay with it or not, whether your parents like it or your friends, who cares? You're the one that has to spend all the time doing it. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, right?
And if you're just trudging through the day thinking, I can't wait to get home so that I can engage in this one thing that feeds my soul, maybe it's time to, I feel like March is going to be huge for forcing you to see this and forcing you to reevaluate. And it may, like for me, you know, I didn't listen. Whenever I go through those cycles, they drop a piano in my head and it's forced and I don't have a choice.
Yes, I know, right?
I don't have a choice but to look at it and to let go what no
Yeah.
longer serves. So the energy, these things cannot survive in the new frequency. That's just the plain old truth.
Yeah.
So
and that's your cosmic 2x4 then, the piano.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said that I get a piano dropped in my head.
Oh my gosh. Ouch.
That's how it feels. Yeah.
And it does that like really sound,
right?
like the lowest
Makes that
key.
sound like it's just like soul crushing.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just the piano visual. That's really
my
funny.
favorite. It's my favorite. I'm always like, okay.
But no, we don't want that for you. Okay.
No. You can avoid that. Pay attention.
Let her choose before the piano comes.
Right.
Gosh, that is something I had to learn big time in 2019. I was in the hot seat for that. Like, are you going to choose, or is there going to be an incident?
Yeah, right.
I really did. Don't you think? I mean, you being in my life for all of 2019, right? I feel like that was a big theme for me, was, you know, getting the messages from spirit, from my intuition. Hey, this is ending, or this is your next step, or whatever. And
right,
you know, if I sort of hesitated at all, you know, it was kind of like, hey, we're giving you like 2 more chances, and then the piano's coming down, or whatever, right. You know,
cosmic slap.
The hammer's coming down.
Yeah.
So okay, so
all of this is, in case you're confused, all of this is what's coming up in March, basically.
Yay, March. No,
it's going to be so fun.
Beautiful things for March too. Like, I see it as very sparkly and very sunny, and kind of like once you make those realizations around what's illusion, and really say, okay, the jig is up, right?
Yep.
It's like the sun comes out and you're allowed to have your breakthrough. That's what I'm seeing for people.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So the faster you pick it, right? The faster you
and it's not that hard. Which one feels better? It's not that hard. Which one feels better? Which one feels I don't care which one. I don't care if the one makes you more money. If it feels heavy and dense and dark, give that one back to Gaia. She'll transmute that crap.
Yeah.
She loves
it's kind of like calling out those lower parts of ourselves, our ego, and just calling it out, and calling it what it is, and turning the other direction and saying, absolutely, okay, this is the finale of that pattern. We're done.
Yep.
We're cutting the cord on that. Yeah.
That's right.
So unplug it. Yeah, so that's how I see it. So it's very shiny and sparkly and a beautiful month.
Yeah, well, because as a collective, we're rising, and I just see all this fear way down here.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not even, we don't even need to be concerned about it.
No.
Because
it's
honestly,
just
as an individual.
Because it is way down there. It's like, look at me.
We can ignore it.
Nobody's paying attention to me.
I really think we can safely ignore it all.
That's
my personal opinion. Yeah.
Yes. And send our love out into the world. Yes. Absolutely. And that's only going to heal it even further, right?
For yourself, at micro and macro. Absolutely. Connect.
Exactly. Yeah, I keep getting that micro and macro thing too. It's like so big right now. Like everything we're experiencing on the micro level, we're experiencing it on the macro, and vice versa.
And it doesn't mean just because it looks scary, it doesn't mean we're in a scary place. It just means we're breaking through.
Yep. We're breaking through, and we have so much help. That's what they're showing me right now. They're like,
man.
If you could see the amount of help that you all have, you wouldn't doubt anything for a second. You wouldn't
of hundreds.
Feel small. None of that. You would just feel
and how much they love us, how much they love us, and are just, seriously, the energy I get is they are cheering. First of all, they're incredibly impressed at our strength. There's a reason we're here and they're there. They chose to do that mission, right? Because they're like, no thanks, you got this. I don't want to go through all that. I'll help from up here. So yeah, it's almost like a reverence. Like they are so proud of us, and they just are like every day I get the message that we cannot believe what you guys have done. Like, we know we're pushing you and you're showing up. You're stepping up and showing up and doing it.
And we're asking for more. We're asking.
We're absolutely insane. We are so crazy.
We're absolutely insane. I love it. And I think overall, I mean, we know what we want is a new paradigm of living on the planet, right? We're not asking to live in a utopia. We're not asking for we're just asking.
Right. That sounds
to
boring anyway.
Out of this old paradigm that is no longer serving anyone, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it doesn't work if it doesn't work for everyone. It just doesn't.
Absolutely.
Because we're all connected. So we're one. So that's, I think that's really what we're asking. We're asking for a world that works for everyone. And that's what we're doing. I mean, that's what we're here doing.
That is a good intention, just to set that every day, even if you don't have a specific, like I want to lend my energy to creating a world that works for everybody. Everybody's abundant. Everybody's living their truth. Everybody's able to engage in their passion on a daily basis. Nobody's hungry. You know, that's the dream.
Yeah.
And we're getting there. We're getting there. It's just this transition period. I get this image. I don't know if you've seen the movie Evolution, but I get this image of this giant, like, you know, how the worms that split in half, and that splitting, you know, the transition is really rocky. Like, it's really like there's a lot of vibrating going on. That's just where we are right now. And so we just have to hang on, and it'll happen. It'll happen.
Well, and I always get that. That reminds me, the similar analogy. I know I've used it with you a lot. I don't know what I'm doing with my pen. I'm very animated with my pen. It's the water before it boils, right? Like, it goes through that like phase of like right before things
phase shift,
the phase change. And just from a scientific perspective, and I'm not a scientist, but I love sciencey stuff. There's that instability within the molecules, right? So there's like that, you know, and you could call that the tantrum too, right? There's that shake of the molecules right before things happen, and that's when the atoms are the most unstable, right?
And then when it's actually boiling, it's not as chaotic. It goes through that transition. So we're just in the transition, and we all chose to be here.
Yay.
Links in the chain. We need everybody. We need all hands on deck.
Right.
And March especially. March, this guy, just see everybody holding hands. Remember when we did that? Was that the 80s? When they tried to have everybody hold hands across the planet? I can't remember. That. I know, right? That's what I'm seeing for March. Like, we're going to learn to reach out to other people.
Yeah. It's almost like all of this heavy transition, like this last tantrum is the sort of crack that brings everybody together.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And we won't need tragedies anymore to unite us. We'll be above that energy. So.
Yeah.
Because we'll just know we already are. That not being united is an illusion.
Right. Exactly. So I'm just seeing if there's any last messages.
I know Metatron's like, wrap it up.
Any last messages?
Wrap it up.
Okay, wrap it up.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we hit on all the hot topics that the guys.
Who wants to meet for a big party on April 1st? We're all still here, let's turn April Fool's Day into holy crap we did it day. Yay. That's going to be a great party.
Hang in there, everybody. You got this. You got this.
We are always we are always sending love and supporting you all, and we know you support us, so
yes. So if this was helpful to you, share it with your friends and subscribe. And stay tuned for our video about the history of a historic place. I don't know what our first one is going to be, but we might have to share that story about Atlantis, because it was so amazing.
That could be our first video, maybe just sharing and retuning in, and then just sharing what we'd already gotten. So yeah. I like that. We'll have to make a list of ancient places.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, that's the plan. So thanks for joining us, and
thank you.
Have an amazing
Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah.
Yes, March, just stay high vibe. Just trust. It's all
Yep.
beautiful.
Trust it's happening. It's all happening. And unplug.
Unplug and visualize. Use your imagination.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.